Hey guys, Walt here with Coates Brothers Firearms. So, some of the guys had been wanting to get some 30-30 videos up and running. Jamie and Kyle Lusk, Georgia Boy. So I thought I'd jump in on this one. Love the 30-30. I have a couple of them. I'm going to be using just an old run-of-the-mill 94 Winchester. It was one of my dad's rifles. It's just kind of an old plain Jane beater. Really, the only thing I did to it was throw a little Williams peep sight on it. But other than that, stock little rifle. I figured I would go ahead and show you the cast bullets that I'm using. Go ahead and get some of those loaded up, and I thought I'd go ahead and do a 3-tier load session. I was going to go ahead and do some really super light loads, 1100, 1150 feet per second, kind of a mid-range load, 1700 feet per second, and then a full power load, 2000 plus feet per second. We'll be using the same bullet for the whole thing. It's the a 165 grain Noe mold, kind of a ranch dog design. They make two different versions of this mold. One that's more designed towards the Marlin rifles, and the other one's designed to fit the throat of the Winchester, and that's obviously the one that I'll be using, and I'll show you what that mold looks like. Okay, so this is the Noe SC 311 165 round flat. That's what the mold looks like. And these are the bullets. So we'll be able to keep those straight, the real light loads, the medium loads, and the full power loads. So here we have 50 pieces of brass that is ready to load. It's been cleaned, annealed, full length sized, primed. All we have to do is expand the case necks, flare the mouths a little bit, charge them, and seat some bullets. So this bullet is a gas check design, but for the light load I'll be using a small charge of red dot, and I'm not even going to bother putting gas checks on these. We're just going to shoot them as cast, powder coated and sized to 311. The medium and full power ones will obviously go ahead and gas check. And I'll show you how I like to do gas checks. Noe sells a gas check flaring tool. The one I've got here is actually by the guy who designed these, and this was gifted to me from him before he sold the rights to Noe. So this is kind of like a pre-production version, but it flares the gas check a little bit, makes them real easy to seat on the bullets. Pretty cool gizmo. Pretty straightforward process. Just set your gas check on there, give it a little bump. Puts a nice little flare on the gas check, makes it nice and easy to seat squarely on the base of the bullet. So we'll go ahead and run these through here and get back to loading. Alright, so we've got the gas checks all flared. Let's go ahead and switch the turret head out and get the 30-30 dies back in and get to loading. So for our light subsonic loads, I decided on Alliance red dot. For our medium 1600 or so feet per second loads, we're going to go with Alliant 2400. And then for our full power 2000 plus feet per second rounds, we're going to be using IMR 3031. Alright, so our brass has been cleaned, annealed, full length sized, primed, so we're ready to start loading. So I'm a firm believer with cast bullets in expanding the case necks along with flaring the case mouth. So I'm a big fan of these RCBS dies. They will expand the case neck on top of just flaring the mouth, so you don't shave any of your lead bullets off when seating the bullet. So let's go ahead and get these cases all run through here and get the necks expanded. Then we can start charging cases. Just a little bit of expansion of the neck, a little bit of flaring on the mouth. Alright, so all the case mouths have been flared and the necks are expanded. I suppose I should go ahead and mention that I'm using 3 different head stamps of brass. Here we have Winchester, Remington, and Hornady. I just didn't happen to have 50 of any one head stamp ready to reload at the time. So we got 3 different head stamps here, and we're using CCI 200 primers exclusively. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab some powder and start charging cases. First up is going to be red dot. First up's red dot, 6.2 grains. Running that Noe 165 grain bullet, powder coated, size to 311, no gas check. Alright, so we have 20 cases charged with 6.2 grains of red dot, and these are all the Winchester brass. So next up we'll move along to 2400 for our mid-range loads, and those will be the Hornady brass, 15 pieces. Alrighty, up next, 16 grains of 2400. Alright, so there are 15 cases of the 2400, and that was utilizing the Hornady brass. So we have 20 rounds of the red dot load, 15 rounds of the 2400 load, and now it's time to charge the Remington brass with 30 grains of IMR 3031. Okay, so that's 50 charged cases. Probably can't see that powder in there very well, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and get these bullets sized and gas checked where appropriate, and we'll start seating them. Alright, so all the cases are charged. Let's go ahead and get some of these powder coated bullets sized and we can get ready to load. So first up, we're going to be doing these green ones. We'll leave the gas checks off of them. We're only going to be running these just over 1100 feet per second with a small charge of red dot. So we'll just size them and load them as is. No gas check. Alright, up next we're going to go with some Eastwood blue. No, that's not Eastwood. That's from Smoke. Carolina blue, maybe. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and gas check these. These will be running with 16 grains of 2400. So, gas check crimps on nicely. Good to go. Alright, so we have all of our bullets sized to 311. Like we said before, we're not going to put gas checks on the red dot loads. We're just going to shoot those just like that. We'll run gas checks on the other ones for the 2400 and the 3031 loads. So let's go ahead and get these bullets seated and crimped. In case you guys haven't noticed, I recently purchased the new Lyman All-American 8 turret press. I've been very happy with this thing thus far. The only complaints I've heard from some people is about the priming system, and I wouldn't know anything about it. I never took it out of the box. I prime all my brass off press, so I love this thing. It's been great. I need to buy a few more turret heads, but other than that, it's been a good press. So let's get these things loaded up, and from there it'll be off to the range. Okay, time to finish these up. So today for these rounds I'm just using inexpensive Lee dies, Lee seating die, and we have a Lee factory crimp die. So there we have it. we'll just keep plugging away at these and talk to you when we're finished. Alright, so there's my 3 different loads, light, medium, and heavy. We'll get these out to the range as soon as possible. We'll be shooting these off a bench at 50 yards with the receiver sights on that old 94 Winchester. So, looking forward to sharing this with you guys, my results, and I'm also looking forward to seeing everyone else's videos on their 30-30 projects, so stay tuned.